You know, I talked big crap about the Remarkable Paper Pro Move on launch day. I thought it was overpriced, underperformed, and just an odd shape as an e-reader or note-taking tablet. Roy from Rants About Tech tried to tell me as he fanboyed out over it like a 16-year-old girl at a favorite boy band concert. So, I had to try it out. And I might have been wrong. Let's talk about it. Welcome everybody back to the channel. This is 2530 Media, and of course, I am your host, Aaron Reed. If you're new here, hey, don't be a stranger. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you're enjoying the information that you're hearing today, well, you guys know what to do. Find that like button. So, I never thought this day would come. Now, I wasn't a hater of the Remarkable platform, but I wasn't a fan of it either. So on launch day of the Remarkable Paper Pro Move, I wasn't the biggest fan of the device. I thought it was overpriced, oddly shaped. I thought it underperformed in the Reader app, and it was very limited when you came to note taking. And with this weird candy bar slash cell phone size, I just didn't think it would be a good tablet for note taking. So today we are going to look at the Remarkable Paper Pro Move, and we're going to see if I was right about it being trash or if I was wrong and it's actually a pretty good note taker. We're going to cover the hardware. We're going to look at the home page, the Notes app, the Reader app. We're also going to check out the Partner app, and we're going to come to a conclusion to see if it can stand up to my daily driver task that I need at work for a device this size, or if I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and back to the AI Paper Mini that I've been daily driving so far. So now let's dive into the review of the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. So the first thing we're going to get into is navigating around the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. This is going to be our home screen. This is where we'll see information for all of our files, whether it be your notebooks, your PDFs, or your EPUBs. You can find this information here. This is where I have a notebook I started. This unclassified, so it's just hanging out here on the home page. So on the left hand side here at the top, this is going to be a battery life indicator. It's also going to let you know the brightness of your light. Right now we have it off. You're going to see what Wi-Fi network you're connected to if you're connected to one. You have the option to put it in airplane mode, green share, and of course lock your orientation. Next, you'll have an option to see the last modified notes. So you can go by last open, date created, alphabetical, the file size, or the page count. You can change the view from medium grid, small grid, or list view. On the right side is going to be your menu bar. So this is where you can filter through how you want to see that information. So under My Files, you'll have the filter by. From there, you can filter it by notebooks, PDFs, or ebooks. So let's try it out. From there, you can navigate to see your favorites. You can also navigate to see your information by the tags you've created. And of course, you can see your integrations. Integrations is where you will go to integrate your information with Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive. So if you're using any of those platforms for your cloud storage as backups, this is where you would set that up. And of course, you have your trash can. This is where all of those files that you've deleted, that's where they live until you actually delete them completely off the tablet. Of course, you have your guides, and these are just guides that Remarkable gives you for help tips on using the device. And of course, you have your device settings. So this is just your device settings menu. You can go through that and explore it. So now let's hop into the Notes app. So we'll do that by first making a quick note. So to create your note, you have a couple of different options. You can go ahead and start a new notebook. You actually can start a folder if you want to start a folder for a specific subject for organization. If you want to go ahead and start with starting the folder, or you can go ahead and do a quick sheet. We'll go ahead and do a notebook so I can show you guys how to create that notebook. So when you get here, you have a couple of options. First thing we're going to do is just rename our notebook. Once you have the name of your notebook, you have a couple of options here. You can choose to have the last visited page as the cover. You can just go ahead and keep the first page as your cover as well. We'll do the last visited page here. Now this is where you choose your templates. So we're going to go to view all. So once you get into view all, you have a lot of different templates here to choose from, depending on what it is that you want to do or get accomplished, from music to regular writing, lined, with margin, without margin, blank, of course, a couple of different creative templates as well. You have planning templates. Also, if you are a part of the Remarkable Methods, so if you pay the subscription for the desktop app, you'll get access to these Remarkable Methods. So if you download any Remarkable Method templates, that will be here. Also, you can sift through your templates here. So it gives you creative, grids, lines, planners. You also can choose from the different orientations. They have a couple of different ones for portrait, and then they have a few for landscape mode as well. When you're on your main page, for the most part, these are going to be your most recent templates that you have used on device. So we're going to go ahead and go with the lined medium. Once we have that selected, simply hit create. Now you've created that first notebook. So this first icon, this is going to be how you hide your toolbar. Once you select that, now you've hidden your toolbar. You want to bring that toolbar back up. You just simply select it. This is where you're going to select your pen type. You're going to have 9 pen types, including 1 highlighter. Of course, you get to select your line thickness. I like to stay with the medium. And then you have 9 color options as well. Black, gray, white, blue, red. We got green, yellow. I never can say this right. I think it's cyan. And of course, magenta. So next to that is going to be your eraser icon, where you have 3 different choices. So you can do your stroke erase, and you can choose what line width you want that to be. Of course, you have the option to erase all. I like to keep it on selection eraser. So you just circle your selected area to erase, and then you get to erase it. This is going to be a selection tool. We'll go through that in a second. Of course, you have your redo and undo. Your hamburger bar here is going to bring you a menu that allows you to add a text box for typing. This is going to be your layers, which will allow you to change your template if you like. This is where you'll be able to convert your handwriting to text. We have enable shapes. This is going to be a page overview. The tags is where you can add a tag to the page. So if you want to tag your page for some information for organization, you can do that. You'll also be able to search your handwriting right here. You can share. We have some additional notebook settings. And of course, you can always add a page. So let's do some sample note taking. So I think the writing experience on the Remarkable platform is probably the best on eInk, and I think that's what enhances the experience on the Remarkable Paper Pro Move when using it. So let's check out our selection tool. Once you use the selection tool, you'll notice that you'll get some menus at site of selection. So this is going to allow you to cut it if you want to paste it somewhere else. Of course, this is going to be your paste icon if you're pasting something. So that icon will let you copy and paste. This next icon is going to convert this handwriting to text. So now I've converted it to text. Once it's converted to text, I do have a couple of options here still as well. So I can bold it, italicize it, and I also can edit. So if I want to, I can add some more text to this. And of course, you can edit your text. So the one thing I do like about the Remarkable platform is once I've insert text into the note, if I want to add on to that text, all I have to do is simply double tap on the screen and then my keyboard will pop up. Once my keyboard has popped up, I can add more information to that text. Once I've added more information, I just simply hit close. So while we're on the pen, let's look at how the colors actually show up on the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. So for this, we're going to select our marker and we will start with a little bit of red. So one of the main reasons why I stayed away from the full-size Remarkable Paper Pro was because I didn't like the color flash. But after using the Move, I've realized that my use case for color on this form factor, I won't be using it a lot. I actually like the way the color appears on the Remarkable platform. I like both the Remarkable platform's color and the Books platform, how they do color with the Kaleido 3. The only thing that really pushed me away from using the Remarkable Paper Pro or purchasing that one was the color flash. But as I've been using the Move, the flash really hasn't bothered me too much because the majority of the time when I'm going to use color on this device is going to be highlighting. When you highlight text on this device, the highlighting will snap around whatever you highlight. When you're highlighting just your regular handwriting, it's kind of like a free-forming highlighter. Once you get to the highlighter, your color choices are limited to just 6, but that's all you really need. Don't tell anybody the majority of my highlights in my work, I use pink. So next I'll show you guys how to add a page. Simply click on your hamburger bar, and we're just gonna go to add a page. Also, once you've added your new page, let's say I wanna use a different template, you can simply hit that hamburger bar again. We're gonna go to layers this time, and we're gonna select a different template. So now if you wanna tag that page, you simply click here. Now we're gonna go to tags. So you can select from the tags you have here. You can also add a new tag, so we'll put test. So now we've added test. I also want to add review to this page, and I also want to add creative. I don't know if there is a limit to the amount of tags that you can apply to a page. I think the most I've done is 3. So now I have these 3 tags applied to this page. So now if I want to store this notebook into a folder, I can hit the plus sign here and I can create a new folder if I want to do that. When you create a new folder, once you select it, you just change the name to whatever you want to change it to, and then you create. Similar to creating a notebook. But for this one, we're going to move this note into the review folder that I have here. You long press on it. From there, you're going to go to move. Once you selected move, now you have the opportunity to select where you want to move this notebook to. I want to move it to my review folder. Once it's there, simply select move to. Now I've moved that new notebook into my review folder. So the next thing we're going to look at is going to be opening up an EPUB for your reading. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this, but we're going to start from the first way that you would normally do it. You're going to go to your menu, you're going to go to filter by, and now we're going to look for ebooks. Now we're in our ebook library. These are going to be all EPUBs that I've pulled over from indie authors that I have purchased these books from. Now, within this, I actually have 2 different files for one of my books. One of them is actually a PDF file. Another one is an actual EPUB file, but they both work and operate the same. So we'll jump into one. Now, I haven't had any scaling issues when it comes to the EPUBs on the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. I know some people have, but you do have a couple of tools that you can use here in the Reader app for your EPUBs and PDFs, and I actually like some of the tools. You don't have any real annotating tools that I have found. I went through this whole thing. I haven't found a real way to annotate outside of being able to write directly on the book. So you can write directly on the book. Of course, you can change your pen selection. You can change the width still. Of course, you can have different colors. You also can still highlight. This is where your highlighting will snap around the word so it's nice and clean. When using the selection tool on EPUBs, you can't use the selection tool on the actual text or writing. Selection tool doesn't do anything with that, but the selection tool will work on your handwriting. So you get the opportunity to copy and paste. So now I've copied it, now I can paste it, or I can cut. Now the one thing I like about the Remarkable platform is I have the opportunity to add pages while I'm reading. So if I'm reading some content in a book and I want to make some notes, I can go to my hamburger bar here, and from there I can hit add a page. Once I select add a page, it's going to add a page directly after the page that I was on. And I still have the full tools of the Notes app, including my layers, where I can select whatever template that I want to use for those notes for my PDF or EPUB that I'm reading. So let's say if I wanted to add a checklist to it from doing some work, I can add that checklist and I can write some notes pertaining to whatever I'm reading. If it's some work, if I'm doing some leisurely reading and I just want to take some notes, I can select a line paper. So I can insert whatever information or notes that I want to insert on this page, and I can go right back to my reading. And of course, you can highlight things. And if you want to continue to take more notes, you can just hop back to it, and then you can proceed to the next page in your reading. Also, within the reader, you can share this information out. So you can go to your hamburger menu. You pretty much have the same tools that you had inside the Notes app from your page overview. We can tag this if we want. We can search. We can share. You can adjust your view. So if you want to adjust the view, you can scale it. You can change the text settings. You can do all of that in that menu, and you can share this information. Now, when you select share, you have 3 different ways that you can share it. You can use it as a presentation with the screen share. You can send it by email, and you can create a link. Once you create that link, you'll be able to scan that QR code, and that information will pop up on your mobile device that you're using. Now let's look at a PDF. So now we're going to go into one of the linkable PDF planners that I have from David over at Tablet Tech. Now I've noticed with this PDF planner here, while I'm in portrait mode, it's scaled kind of small. However, once we rotate it over to landscape mode, now I have a better canvas for writing and taking those notes. And just like previously, you can jump between months. You can also scroll through days. Now when selecting your links, I don't think that you can use the styli to select the links. Let's see. So when selecting the links, you can't use the styli to select those links. So you would have to use finger input. But once you get on your desired day, then you can take those notes in that planner. And of course, to scroll up and down, you simply, if I want to go back home, now I'm back at the home page. And now when I get to the bottom of my page, I can jump in between functions. You still have your toolbar on this side. Still have your hamburger bars. You still can share. You still can add a page. So now we're going to take a look at the partner app. So the partner app is almost set up the same way your home screen of the Remarkable Paper Pro Move is set up, with access to all of your files. You can sort by notebook, PDFs, ebooks. You can still search your favorites, and you can still search your tags. While you're in the partner app here, you can add a new notebook. You can create a new folder. You can create a quick sheet, and you can also import. So let's import a PDF from another eInk tablet that I wrote some notes on. We're going to go to import, and then we're just going to select that PDF that we want to import. We're going to hit open, and as simple as that, now that notebook has been added to my Remarkable Paper Pro, and it will sync within a couple of short minutes to your actual device. So we'll switch over to that once it has finished syncing. Now, something else that I like about the partner app is the ability to create notes on the app that will sync with your device. And I'll show you guys how that happens as well. So we're going to go here and let's just create a notebook. We're going to name this test notebook. We're going to leave all that the same. And now we're going to create. And now we can start a text notebook. So when you start off a text notebook on the partner app, your first line is going to be like your title or heading line, and everything else is going to be in the size format of the body. And then you can continue adding information. So the thing that I like most about the partner app is you have the ability to copy and paste from other websites, documents that you have on your computer if you want to add that information into this note to take over to your Remarkable Platform device. And from there, you can continue to take notes and add to that. So let's see if I can copy and paste some research from a book that I'm thinking about buying from Amazon, but I want to know a little bit more about the author. So here I have some information about a book that I'm thinking about checking out, and I want to get some more information about the author. I can start some note taking, and I want to get some information about the author. So here I have some information about an author that I am looking into. I want to learn more about the author because I'm reading some of her books, and I want to build some notes using the Remarkable Paper Pro platform. So here I have pulled up an author that I want to know a little bit about. I'm reading some of her books, and I want to kind of build a database of information to review. This is how easy you can get that done within the partner app. So now that I'm building that information database about this author, now I want to get some information about the actual book of hers that I want to pick up next. So I kind of want to take this information that is here. So now I want to take this information that's here, in the Amazon description so I can study it later on. So now I want to take this information here from the Amazon description. So now I want to grab this information here so I can read about it on the go. So now I've kind of created a database of information for this author that I want to check out. Now that I have the information that I want to read about, I can switch back to my Remarkable Paper Pro Move, and I can actually take some more notes as I read this on the go. So let's see what that looks like. So now we're back on the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. And as you guys can see, this is one of the PDF files that we moved over from the desktop. And this is going to be that test notebook that we created within the partner app. So now that I've selected that, you guys will see I have the text note that I started on the partner app, my first text notebook of the day. And I have here my author information because I want to read up more about her and take some notes on that. And I also have some information on the book that I'm thinking about picking up. So here, guys, so now you see that I've opened up the notebook that we started on the partner app, the first text notebook of the day. You guys can see I have that author information here that we copied and pasted over. I also have the information for the book that I want to pick up, and from there I can take some more notes. And I can either use the infinite page, or I can even add another page. Switching back to the partner app, you guys, you'll notice a couple of things. That test note that we started is no longer here in the uncategorized section, but we can find it where we moved it. If we go to Aaron's bookstore, then we'll go into productivity. You'll see this note. When we go to our page view, we can scroll to our pages and you can see where we added some annotations. So anything that I add on the notebook for as notes to this will appear here in the partner app. And of course, anything I add in the partner app will appear on the tablet. And from here, I can add layers, I can add extra pages, I can share this if I like as well. So that was a quick look at the Remarkable Paper Pro Move, the organization it has, how you can navigate around the Notes app, what you can and can't do in the Reader app, and also what the home screen and navigating the device looks like. We also took a peek at the partner app and what you can and can't do. Some takeaways from this device that I've learned since I daily drove it for a week for work purposes is I underestimated this device. It's actually a good note-taking device. That size and form factor actually surprised me. It's more comfortable taking notes than I thought it would be. A lot of it has to do with just the writing feel of the Remarkable platform. The Remarkable Paper Pro and the Remarkable Paper Pro Move, in my opinion, probably have the best writing feel or writing experience that you can find on eInk. And even though the styli is capacitive, the feel of the styli with the screen, to me, it's almost like writing on paper. It's the best writing experience that I have had on eInk out of all the devices that I use and own. And this weird candy bar cell phone style size, it actually works. I like writing both in portrait and landscape mode on a device, and I'm able to take a lot of notes. Probably do more long format writing than I normally would do on something this size, but it just works out and feels great. The Remarkable Paper Pro Move was able to handle all of my needs throughout the day as a daily driver in this size factor for work. A lot of things that I use e-ink tablets in this size factor for at work are things like note taking, PDF viewing, jotting down quick ideas. I even write journal entries from time to time in it. I'm on the go. I'm on planes a lot, so I'll use it to do some leisurely writing, some leisurely reading, or if I'm trying to learn something as well. The convenient size of the Remarkable Paper Pro Move makes it pretty portable. There's not a bag that I own that it doesn't fit in. It can easily slide into most pockets of the jeans or jackets that I wear. I pretty much can grab this thing, throw it in my pocket, and be on my way and not have to carry anything else. Now, to be fair, I can also do that with the AI Paper Mini. However, with the Remarkable Paper Pro Move, it's much easier and, a little bit more comfortable. Now, as good as the device is, there are still some drawbacks or limitations that I don't like about it. The biggest thing for me is the reading experience. I have a lot of EPUBs that I load on my e-readers to read, so I do source a lot of EPUBs from independent authors or websites that sell DRM-free ebooks. However, I'm also heavily tied to the Kindle ecosystem, and the ability to not have the Kindle app on the device is an issue for me. Also, the lack of annotating tools on the Remarkable Paper Pro Move is not that big of a deal, but it is noticeable. I can highlight I can annotate or write on the paper. I can even add pages wherever I want to within my EPUB or PDF to take more notes. But one of the limitations I found is I can't copy and paste text from those EPUBs and move them within my notes. There's also not a way to kind of add annotation notes within a PDF like you do have on other platforms. So basically, you can read your PDF or EPUB, you can write on page, you can add a page for notes, you can highlight things you want to highlight, but that's pretty much it. And of course, I can't put any other reading apps on the device. Another limitation to the Remarkable platform, this is not that big of a deal for me because of the size factor and the use case I'm using this device for, is the lack of tools in the Notes app. Now, the Notes app does provide all of the basic tools that you need for note taking and writing on this device. However, outside of the tags and being able to file all of your documents in one place, there's no real organization system to be added to it. There's no way for me to make a table of contents. I can't highlight or tag keywords. So there's no way for me to index my work out outside of that tag that's page level. Now, it is a good tool that I can tag pages, tag folders, tag EPUBs and PDFs, and I can save all of those things in one location. Another limitation or issue with the platform for me, which is a small issue, is that candy bar or cell phone size. While it's convenient to put in your pocket, throw in a bag, go on by your business, travel, do what you need to do, I do wish it was more of a traditional rectangle or square size to give me more real estate to write those quick notes, quick ideas, those journal entries, view PDFs, read my EPUBs, just a little bit more comfortably. It works. I don't have an issue with it, but I do wish it was more of a traditional size or style 7 to 8 inch e-ink tablet. So all in all, I'm impressed with this Remarkable Paper Pro Move. I will admit, my first assessment of the tablet was pretty wrong. I kind of went off what I saw on YouTube, the form factor and size, what I know about the limitations of the software, and the fact that the Reader app could use some work. But once I got it in my hands, I used it on a daily basis, added it to my workflow, and saw how it actually helped me be productive in everything that I normally do with something this size. I could just keep doing it, and I actually did some things better. I think the Remarkable Paper Pro Move is worth the money and is a tablet that I will be adding to my collection, to my use case. It's going to be in my rotation of daily drivers. I usually daily drive a smaller tablet for note taking and work, and of course I daily drive the Books Go 10.3 for all of my other e-ink uses. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. Do you think it's too expensive and it's not worth the money? Or do you guys think that this is actually a good tablet that you can use for productivity and creativity, and a solid tablet that you can use as a note-focused tablet? Thanks for checking out the video, and until next time.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. I'm trying to see it. It's not a secret. Live with reason. I decree it. No degree. I couldn't G it. Still I made it work with my allegiance. Pledge my fallen souls. I had to grieve them. And when I'm at my lowest, it's when I need them. But I don't trip too much. I know they looking down, so I'll be looking up. You either swim or drown. I'm down with all the bullshit. I'm built to be a tank. I take shots like a bank, backboarding on a plane. Take shots at the gang, walking on a plank. I was charging up for years. I'm back walking out the tank. Hold up. Force and fire, I was born to lose. But then I learned to win, ignore the lies they force on you. And I ain't trying to preach, was looking dim. I almost gave it up, but that's just what it took to win. Hey, crooked good guys with quotes around the good guys. We live in misunderstood times. Cut the virus off my body, trying to stop the spread. We keep on shooting, but don't stop until you shot the head. It's like the Walking Dead, your man's a walking lick. I'm 5'8", but on the money, I'm as tall as Vic. When beyond my friends at my para shows, I fly to see them, they get wet for me like Gyarados. Pass me the split, we off the I'm going comatose. Off the grid with 5 foreign, each a swollen nose. Been a